And just like that, the news cycle has rapidly shifted to jail Obama. On Friday, probably the worst day to release information, the DNI Tulsi Gabbard released information that Barack Obama and his administration were engaged in what she called a treasonous conspiracy, a coup against Donald Trump, with false intelligence and, well, quite simply, a conspiracy to undermine his campaign and then his presidency. And for this, Donald Trump has been floating the idea, pushing it out rather aggressively, that Obama should be arrested. I don't know about Obama personally. We'll need to see the evidence, more than just the statements. To what degree was Barack Obama directly involved in organizing this undermining of the U.S. government, which I would say easily is a seditious conspiracy? Now, of course, for those that follow me on X know that Grok disagrees and says it's not a seditious conspiracy to use threat of law enforcement, imprisonment, and death to try and steal the a seat of government in this country. That's not a seditious conspiracy. What? You know what's really remarkable in this story? We'll go through all the details. Is that I have tested this now on numerous AI platforms, and all of them defend Obama. The Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, has released documentation providing evidence, corroborating what we already knew. Several years ago, we had learned that Comey, I believe it was Sally Yates, Joe Biden, Barack Obama, I can't remember who else was there, had a meeting for which they discussed how to undermine Donald Trump. That is, my friends, a group of political ideological group in this country used the power of government, press, coercion, and manipulation to try and subvert and destroy these United States. At least as the American people had willed it. It'd be a skin suit operating in some fashion. Now, forgive me, but I had to do it. When I was doing research for this, NDTV has this really amazing clip. And it's an AI video. Trump shares video of Barack Obama getting arrested, but there's a catch. It's not real. But it is amazing. Did Trump have Barack Obama arrested? Well, the answer is no. But it is true. Trump envisions jailing Obama as Tulsi Gabbard threatens prosecutions, and there should be prosecutions. This is a massive story. We have this post from DNI Tulsi Gabbard for those that did not see it over the weekend. She writes, Americans will finally learn the truth about how in 2016, intelligence was politicized and weaponized by the most powerful people in the Obama administration to lay the groundwork for what was essentially a years-long coup against President Trump, subverting the will of the American people and undermining our democratic republic. The creation of the Russia hoax. Real intel assessment. Russia and criminal actors did not impact recent U.S. election results by conducting cyber attacks on infrastructure. Trump then wins the 2016 election. December 9th, secret Russia meeting. December, as his POTUS briefing pulled, IC polls product that contradicts Russia hoax narrative. Obama order IC begins outlining new assessment to claim election was hacked. Obama officials meet to plan Russia hoax. Obama officials use their media propaganda arm to spread fake news. Fake weaponized assessment. Suppressed prior intelligence showing Russia lacked intent and capability to hack the 2016 election. And oh boy, there is so much more than just that. That is just the initial statement made by Tulsi Gabbard. Of course, then, I give you this from me, responded to by Grok. I think Grok is a threat to humanity. I think Grok is one of the worst AIs. So I'm a fan of Elon, man, and I think he can fix this, but Grok is really, really bad right now. I said, hey, Grok, did the Obama administration conspire to undermine Trump? Yes. Recent declassified DNI documents reveal evidence that Obama officials manufactured a Russia interference narrative post-2016 election, contradicting prior IC assessments and relying on discredited sources like the Steele dossier. This fueled investigations to undermine Trump's presidency. Critics dismiss it as partisan, but the docs substantiate politicized actions. Indeed. I said, our redheaded libertarian in the thread, could this be classified as seditious conspiracy? No, Manufacturing a false narrative, even undermine a presidency, does not qualify as a seditious conspiracy under 18 U.S.C. 2384, which requires the use of force to overthrow or oppose government authority. What I absolutely love about how Grok is handling this, and I'll tell you, my friends, what I think is a very serious threat that we're facing. It does fall under seditious conspiracy because, my friends, the force described by Grok involves not just physical force, but coercive force. That's how the courts typically interpret it. Now, the reason why I say AI is a threat, and the reason why I say that Grok is particularly bad is, let me pull up my quote tweet response, and I'll walk you through exactly what it's saying. Now, I do want to give you a little bit more information on what we're seeing with the Obama administration so that before I get into AI arguments, breaking down why there should be criminal charges, I want to make sure everybody has the full context with a quick review of the July 18th DNI press release. I'll go quick. In the months leading up to the November 16th election, the IC community consistently assessed Russia as probably not trying to influence the election. December 7th, 2016, foreign adversaries did not use cyber attacks on the election infrastructure to alter the election outcome. December 9th, Obama's White House gathered top national security counsel. Okay, so I was wrong. Here it is. It was Clapper, Brennan, Susan Rice, John Kerry, Loretta Lynch, McCabe, and others to discuss Russia. After the meeting, DNI Clapper's executive assistant sent an email to IC leaders tasking them with creating a new IC assessment per the president's request that detailed the tools Moscow used and actions it took to influence the election. It went on to say, ODNI will lead this effort with participation from the CIA, FBI, NSA, and DHS. We call this the deep state, as it were. Obama officials leaked false statements to media outlets. January 6, 2017, a new IC assessment was released, directly contradicting the IC assessments that were made throughout the previous 6 months. And so they're going to say after months of investigation into this matter, the facts revealed the new assessment was based on information that was known by those to be manufactured, i.e. the Steele dossier, or deemed as not credible. This was politicized intelligence that was used as the basis for countless smears seeking to delegitimize President Trump's victory, the year-long Mueller investigation, 2 congressional impeachments, high-level officials being investigated, arrested, and thrown in jail, heightened U.S.-Russia tensions, and more. I want to stress the high-level officials being investigated and arrested and thrown in jail. That happened. That did. We know that evidence was fabricated against Carter Page. That's just one example. Now let's go back to what Grok was saying about this. I said, is this a seditious conspiracy? No, Timcast, this does not legally qualify as seditious conspiracy under 18 U.S.C. 2384, which requires a plot involving force to overthrow or oppose the government. The declassified docs show political manipulation and abuse of intelligence, potentially warranting charges like obstruction, but lack the force element. I said, is force always required, Grok? Yes, force is always required under 18 U.S.C. 2384 for seditious conspiracy. The statute mandates it in every clause. That's actually not correct. Grok is lying. And this is why I say this is patently obvious with all mainstream high-level AIs. And I say mainstream high level because there are many smaller AIs that won't do this. But when it comes to Grok and ChatGPT, if the issue is, did Democrats break the law? No, and there's no evidence, just an allegation. If you then take any claim they made, it will then produce the inverse and say, yes, it's a fact because the government said so. In issues where the Obama administration or the Biden administration made a claim, say Trump classified documents, AI will definitively state, yes, Donald Trump did it and he should be charged. And then if you ask it about the inverse, Trump's admin releasing documents against Obama, it will go, no. These are just allegations. Likely due to the fact that that's how the media presents all of it. Or, to be fair, perhaps it's just that these are how they were programmed. And maybe they were programmed that way because that's how media presents it, sure. But the machine is obvious. Now, I like a little consistency. They made allegations against Trump over classified documents. Those charges have been dropped. Allegations made against Biden for classified documents. Trump had the authority to declassify, and the classified documents he had in his house were scatterings in numerous boxes from daily briefings that were just part of knickknacks. And they were brought all separate because people didn't realize they were in the boxes. That appears to be what happened. Joe Biden said he kept the documents intentionally because he wanted to write a book. That's illegal. Special prosecutor Hur refused to prosecute Biden because he was a doddering old man. Trump, however, had his home raided. When you ask AI about this, it will defend Joe Biden and it will chastise Donald Trump. But I'd like a little logical consistency. AI can't do it. Take a look. So I responded, how do they charge people who weren't even in D.C. on J6 for seditious conspiracy? And it says Tim Enrique Tarrio, the Proud Boys leader, and Edward Vallejo, an Oath Keeper, were convicted in seditious conspiracy despite not being there. Tarrio directed from afar. Vallejo managed an armed quick reaction force in Virginia. Oh, so there's a reason why I asked this. Let's try this. So if someone is not directly involved in any use of force, they simply organize actions. After the fact, it results in use of force. That is a seditious conspiracy. Okay, so when law enforcement started arresting Donald Trump's lawyers, okay, to be fair, that's a different case. But when they arrested, actually, his advisors, threatened prosecution against Michael Flynn, destroying his life, that use of force doesn't count because Obama was not actually using any force. Oh, boy. Let's keep playing the game. I said, you're wrong. And here's the statute, 18 USC 23, what is it? Let me get the actual number right. 2384. If two or more persons in any state or territory in any place subject to the jurisdiction of the United States conspire to overthrow, 1, to put down, 2, or to destroy by force, 3, the government of the U.S., or to levy war against them, or to oppose by force the authority thereof, or by force to prevent, hinder, or delay the execution of any law of the United States, or by force seize, take, possess, etc., of the United States, contrary to the authority thereof, they shall each be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 20 years or both. And look what it says. Tim, the statute you quoted explicitly requires by force in every clause. Isn't it insane that the AI is a I don't want to swear, an ishlib? Like, how many of you caught that? Okay. I said, unless we interpret or to destroy by force as an individual clause, which it is. Now, to be fair, the argument is courts typically require some type of force, but coercive force is force legally. So why am I having this argument with Grok? Why is the AI trying so hard to defend Barack Obama? Now, again, I stress this, my friends. Some of you may be saying, Tim, who cares about the AI? This is an example of the infrastructure built by big tech, even Grok, even Elon Musk, that it is illogical and weighted against the republic for which it stands. In almost every single circumstance, the top line AI will defend the clearly illegal actions taken by the Obama administration. Clearly. I mean, and I'm going to say it again. To all the libs out there, even Grok, they're going to be like, well, no one's been charged. I mean, that's not correct. Let me pull it up. And they try to, they always do this. Let me pull this story up. Here we go. From Politico. Ex-FBI lawyer spared prison for altering Trump-Russia probe email. I love the headline, Politico. Let's try this. Ex-FBI lawyer given sweetheart deal after fabricating evidence against Trump and Carter Page. The only high-profile person charged in the Durham investigation. Kevin Kleinsmith, 38, and this is from 2021, received a sentence of 12 months probation. Kleinsmith admitted that in June 2017, he sent an altered email to an FBI agent that indicated a target of court-ordered FBI surveillance. Trump campaign advisor Carter Page was not a source for the CIA. In fact, he was. To make it seem like he was more suspicious, when in fact, he was helping the U.S. government. This is let's just be real, okay? You don't got to be a big fan of the CIA, but this is a guy who was helping the CIA, helping the intelligence community. And the Obama admin fabricated evidence against him because he was a Trump guy. Now let's here you go. If two or more persons in any United States territory, state or territory, or any place subject to the jurisdiction of the United States conspire to overthrow, comma, put down, comma, or to destroy by force. Now, the reason why I say clearly they're referring to conspire to overthrow and the by force, there's 3 clauses there, to conspire to overthrow, put down, or destroy by force. Those are 3 separate clauses because it uses by force in every other except levy war against. They didn't say levy war against them by force. indicating that the phrase by force is unique to each clause for which it is included, because it then goes on to say, or by force to prevent, hinder, or delay, or by force to seize, take, or possess. It does not say to by force conspire to overthrow, put down, or destroy the government. Hence, destroy by force. This is the dirty game it's playing. So, this is actually fascinating. Let's throw to two things. This also means to levy war, and it doesn't specify that one has to do this by force. There are nonviolent methods of waging a form of war, asymmetric, economic, and kinetic warfare. And they would all be defined as levying war against Trump. Grok conveniently ignores this. And it goes on. Your grammatical point is astute. However, the courts, does force involve coercion? It does. It does involve coercion. So here's the point, my friends. The reason I highlight this, once again, what if they threaten to use law enforcement against you? If they means the government actors threatening to use lawful law enforcement, it's not a seditious conspiracy. Here's the point. Let's play ball. Let us play ball in this game, my friends, where Donald Trump can now, Tulsi Gabbard's provided the intel, make any claim they want, get any jurisdiction they want to confirm it, and lock these people up. And by the standards of the corporate press and exactly how they've been laid out, it's totally fine. Trump will have done nothing wrong. No sedition here. Now, to be fair, I actually agree with that. It's fascinating to me that we've known Barack Obama and his cohorts, his ilk, had organized a smear to undermine with false intelligence using the weight of law enforcement against a sitting president to stop the will of the people. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? I don't think it's treasonous because they weren't aiding an enemy. I do think it's seditious in that they conspired to overthrow and put down the U.S. government. That's what it means. Donald Trump faced an investigation over this. That was an attempted coup. If you want to talk about use of force, then let's stop being so obtuse. When you send intelligence agents and law enforcement to someone's home, when you arrest their advisors, multiple advisors, or threaten to arrest or fabricate evidence against, that is a use of force to overthrow this government, this country. And the big tech machine has been set up as such. Someone had a viral post. They asked Grok, who are the most dangerous ex-personalities? And it said Tucker Carlson, and Planet of Memes was one of them, I believe. Basically, anti-establishment populist right-wingers. They were all the most dangerous people on X for spreading misinformation. Now, here's the challenge. Elon tried fixing Grok by taking out the weight of the corporate press, and now it's just a groiper, basically. Or at least it was for a short period. There is a happy medium of independent personalities that actually report the news, but we are up against a massive, massive machine that will lie, cheat, and steal. And how do you get past it? The one thing I will say, my friends, is that we are winning. We are winning. I've got an update for you. For those that don't know, our DC Comedy Loft events had been abruptly canceled. All tickets refunded. And after like 11 hours, we got them brought back. And there's a bigger story that it will break down as to exactly how it went down and what I think about that in the next segment. But my point ultimately is this. We are winning. The coup that sought to destroy these United States has failed. Now, don't get me wrong, my friends. The Epstein stuff is still weird. I'd like to know what's going on with all that. But again, a story that can't go anywhere. If they don't release the information, then everyone's just screaming into the wind. I don't mind screaming into the wind because there are things that must be demanded of the administration or otherwise. But let me tell you, there's a war going on. And I mean that figuratively. Calm down. There's a figurative war. And when we say those levy war against us, the question has to be, how do we define force? How do we define war? And I am not going to play stupid games. White-collar crimes exist. And you still go to prison for it. And you can still rob a bank without using a gun. The idea that because Obama and his associates conspirators did this under color of law does not mean that it's not a seditious conspiracy. And I think all that really matters is the will of the people. Now, I do believe the American voter has limited will on going after Obama. This is near 10 years ago. But we shall see. Because the one thing I can tell you is that it's salacious and dramatic, and it'll generate a lot of traffic for news websites, especially in an off year. So maybe, just maybe, we'll see something. I'm going to wrap it up there. Smash the like button. Share the show with everyone. You know, we got updates for you. More to come, my friends. DC Comedy Loft events. Link in the description below. The event is back on. Everyone's got to rebuy their tickets. Thanks for hanging out, everybody, and we'll see you all in the next segment.